got all the war stuff here.
Diesel heaters may break, but Jarl still runs out of LPG, so...
Yeah. Good morning. More decent temperatures. Minus 18.7. And, oh. It's snowing. Quite heavily, actually. Huh. Can't remember seeing that on the forecast. Well, that's fun. As I said, it warmed up considerably, and I'm making the most important meal of the day, as the snow is coming down pretty hard. I wasn't expecting this today. It's not on the forecast, but got some big flurries now, which is nice because it warmed up to minus 5 degrees, and I needed that for a little while now, because it's been just constant extreme cold now for 2 weeks, and I'm using so much propane fuel to stay warm. Looks like the wind is picking up as well. I'm close to the road, but I have quite a ways to go to get out on that road if I should snow in here. Be a good deal of digging for sure. It's coming down hard now. Definitely snowing in here. Not sure how deep it is yet, but it looks deep. Since my tracks are vanishing. Always fun to have a snowstorm when nothing is forecast. Yeah, the kettle was frozen solid this morning as well, because we had down to minus 24 last night. But then the night stayed around minus 19-ish, minus 20, so didn't get as bad as I feared, because the sky was clear, and when the sky is clear it gets you get much more cold usually than what's on the forecast. Oh, this is beautiful. This is absolutely stunning now. It snows a lot. It's on and off. I think the sun is coming back. It's gonna get stone cold again. I have no idea about what's gonna happen with this weather today. Really. A lot of back and forth. Yeah, so the forecast says -15 now, and it's -5. So as soon as this sun that looks like it's gonna come out, as soon as this sun comes out, it's gonna get very cold again. So -21 through the day today. I'm surprised there's no people here, because there's a lot of cabins in the woods here I saw with my drone. So for a weekend you would think that there would be a lot of people, but there's not. Anyway, cheers my friends. Thanks for watching. Most important meal of the day. Alright, with this beautiful weather, I'm gonna do my first ski trip of this Arctic season. Finally. And haven't taken my skis out yet, so I'm taking my cross-country skis this time around, leaving my backcountry skis for some more mountainous areas. These are the best ones to get around on. So these are with these skins on them. Should be great. It's not that cold. It's -3, but that's in the sun, though. It's probably around -8 or something. And putting this to 8 degrees while I'm outside. All right, let's go. It's really a winter wonderland here now. So I'm just gonna head out here, see what I can find. It is beautiful out here. Wow. Found these excellent snowmobile tracks here. It's pretty easy walking. So I'm gonna head out on that lake there. But first I'm just gonna follow these tracks, see where they lead. Cabin up here. Another cabin. A lot of animal tracks here. Probably reindeer. I'm glad I get to go out a little bit now as the sun is back, and it's just very nice. And what is this? I'll tell you what it is after this break. There's a boat. Alright, here's the lake. This is what I wanted. So that was a reindeer herder. He was out placing food for the reindeer at certain intervals. Right now it was easy for the reindeer to find food, he said, because this snow is so loose. So I had a good chat with him, and it's been a cold winter, he said, that I can sign up on. Okay, let's continue. Good tracks after his snowmobile. Beautiful out here, absolutely gorgeous. All right, skiing technique. And why do I want to use skis as opposed to snowshoes? Of course, skis are much faster, and you can get faster on flat ground, faster uphill if you're good, and you can also go faster, much faster downhill. So let me show you a little bit of technique. So on flat ground where there's like a little bit of a surface, you want to slide forward and use your arms to get a little bit additional glide. You can do this much faster than what I'm going to show you now, but let me just do normal speed first, and then I'll speed up a little bit and go faster. And then I'll show you how it works in loose snow after I turn around, come back. Now, if you're a good skier and you're the first person, you want to leave a straight track like this so that other skiers can follow in those tracks and make a consistent, permanent track. Just makes it much easier for the people coming behind. Alright, I think I'm gonna go across the middle here and over on a different thumb, or maybe not. Wow, Look now. Look at that. Okay, I'll stick here. I'll stick with this towards the mountains. Beautiful, isn't it? It's an open world out here. Perfectly good new snow skiing conditions out on the lake here. A lot of animal tracks, reindeer probably. What a day. All right, we're back. Time to get in here and put on the heat again. So happy I got to do that. It's been a long time. So I don't have a routine. That is so weird. I always have a routine for stuff, but not for coming in from a ski trip. Let's just get it up to 18. And I think I can get my ski poles in from this side. Yeah. Well, how nice was that? Cheers, my friends. Actually, first ski trip of the year. It's probably the latest I've ever had the first ski trip of the year. Usually that happens at the start of January. But this year, not so much. It's been so harsh everywhere, so dark, and so cold. And there's been absolutely no will to get outside to go skiing. Good morning, the sun is out and we had minus 25 through the night. It got cold again. And it's an absolutely stunning morning up here. Wow. Gonna head down to Laxelv now. get a shower, get some new propane, make some new plans. I'm getting 0.2 amps of charging on my solar panel. Woohoo! Time to see if we can get this started. Ooh. Heavy, but okay, I guess. Wow, how I love it here. It's just absolutely beautiful. So this is my new favorite Arctic mountain plateau for sure. This area here is just amazing. I came through here when there was the polar night, and now I came through here again after the sun returned, and it's just spectacular. Very, very cold. It's between the coldest place in Norway and Lakselv, which is kind of cool, but you use a lot of fuel to stay warm. Climates like this, that's for sure. Anyway, gonna go down to Lakselv and get a shower and change my propane and see if I can wash some clothes as well. And I need to get a new hard drive, so I ordered one to the power electric store down there. Look at this. Here we are. Amazing. This is Stapulsdal National Park, those mountains there. I've hiked across all these mountains a few years ago in summer. Alright my friends, I'm back up on this mountain plateau here. I just couldn't resist it. It was too good up here, and there was some nasty winds coming in down by the ocean in Lakselv where I was camped, and I didn't really want to be in that. Just nasty cold wind with extreme cold and no snowfall. It's not gonna turn into anything that's fun. But up here it's gonna be beautiful but extremely cold. Forecast is for -26, so that could fast be -30 or more. We'll see. It's -18 right now. It's 4 o'clock, 3:30-ish. So, gonna have an early dinner. Gonna make a pizza for the first time in a very long time. Got some pizza dough, some bacon, cheese of course, onions, and I don't have a pizza sauce, but I have taco sauce, so it's gonna be a taco sauce pizza with some bacon and some onion, some cheese and some blue cheese. And to go with that, gonna enjoy Finnish IPA. So, cheers my friends. Yeah, so for this I'm gonna use my Omnia oven. Haven't used this this oven all winter actually, but first I'm gonna fry up some bacon and onions in a saucepan. So start with the onions here. I don't really need to fry the onions, to be honest, but I want to get a little bit of frying time on the bacon, so I might as well do the onions at the same time. It is going to be extremely cold here. I can feel it in the whole van today. It's always like that after you park up, like the first, I don't know, 6 hours after you park up, it feels like the walls are not warm yet, and it just feels cold. But it's gonna get extremely cold. The skies are completely clear and there's absolutely no wind, so just a recipe for cold. Right, onions, and then I'll do half of this bacon here. The rest can be saved for a rainy day. Bacon. Put that in there with the onions and get that frying. Let's see how we're going to do this. With this dough, I have to figure this out. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So this goes on the bottom. And then I'm gonna remove the muffins trays. And then the plan is to make 2 kind of pizza rolls that go in here. Maybe that's good. There's one. Do one more. Just a tiny bit to spare there. This should be fun. Need to actually gonna open the side window today to get air in. Ooh, it's cold. It's cold. Then the taco sauce, because we can. Okay, I think we're good with the onions and the bacon. It's looking like this. I don't know if you can see that. Just a little bit. We'll add cheese. On second thought, I'm not gonna add the blue cheese because this with bacon and everything should be salty enough. so we'll not do that. Then we'll see if we can make this work as I planned. Okay, first time I do this, so how about making a little bit of an edge there. This was a little bit harder than I thought. I thought it would loosen from the paper instantly. Apparently not. Come on. Alright. Yeah, got it in. Alright. Second one. Alright, so I have 2 pizzas in here now. Or calzones, or whatever you want to call it. Just clean that up. Then we fire it up. Put the lid on. And be very careful to use something for the heat, because this whole thing gets hot, even this one. Isn't that beautiful? Last light. Cheers, my friends. Those are cold days. What's it been? Like 14 days? 3 weeks of Siberia cold? Like it's all been coming down from Siberia. And now there's something happening tomorrow. It looks like there's gonna be storms, but it's gonna be like cold storms. It's not gonna have any precipitation. And then it's gonna change and there's gonna be much more snow coming. So here's what's going on. It's probably finished, but I want a little bit of like a brown crust on it, so we'll give it a little bit more time. I think we are getting close to being done. Yeah, there's a crust now. Not as brown as I would have wanted it to, but I think it's fine. Now, look at the blue hour outside. Isn't that beautiful? Kind of cool. Cheers, my friends. How do I do this? Turn it off. All of this stuff is so hot. This is burning hot, so let's try to place it like that so it's not touching anything. Then I'll just leave this a little bit to cool off. This is going to be fun. I wonder how I'm gonna eat this. Should I? Alright, let's see what we can do here. Can we just walk this over here? Yeah, that's cooling pretty fast. Good, good. Now, let's see if we can pick one of these pizzas up. Oh, yeah. Look at the bottom of that. That's pretty cool. Alright, should we cut it? Should we make it into like pizza rolls? Yeah, let's make it into pizza rolls. Ooh. There's some good stuff here. There you are. That's probably gonna be pretty tasty. Doesn't look super impressive, but I think it's gonna be great. Let's try this. Cheers, my friends. First Omnia oven pizza in this year, this winter season. It's just way too warm yet. But that's really good. Amazing. Wow. I had no idea. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it's onions and bacon. And you can't really taste taco sauce. But it's definitely in there doing something for the whole. So that was really simple, actually. Just pizza dough, taco sauce, onion and bacon and cheese. Yeah, so very happy about this. Gonna get a healthy dose of cold through the night. It's minus 23 now at 8. And the forecast says minus 26, low peak in, I don't know how long, 6 hours or so. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, getting colder and colder, minus 25. It's 9:30. Alright, this morning, minus 25.3, so it didn't get as bad as forecast. The forecast was for minus 26, minus 27. But that's because it's starting to snow. So it's getting a little bit warmer. It's about time. Been 3 weeks of extreme cold temperatures. Alright, I thought I would stay up here and work on some videos, but there's this nasty wind that's been starting. And it's nearly minus 20, and with this nasty wind, coupled with those temperatures, it's just really chilly. So I'm gonna head down to Karasjok and find a place in shelter there. It's gonna be colder down there, but it's still not gonna be as windy. This is just going through the bones. Look at this beautiful place. I'm gonna go up that path there and up to that mountain one day. It's just way too harsh with the wind today, but if the wind drops, I'm gonna head up there. Well, now look at this outside. I'm glad I moved down here because it was so cold and disgusting up on that mountain with the wind. Here it's better, down in the forest. And we're just getting some pretty big snowfall now. There is quite a lot of snowfall on the forecast now, so makes sense. It's time to talk a little bit about this extreme winter we've had here in the Arctic this year. It's been the coldest winter in 25 years, and we've had several stretches of minus 40, minus 42 degrees Celsius, and we had a really long month of this Siberian cold coming in from Siberia, of course, and it stayed below minus 30 for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it's just kind of draining on everything. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about why every single van and truck that came up here from outside of Norway, why they failed, and that pretty much every single one that I've heard about that came up to the Arctic this year had failures, critical failures, mostly with their diesel heaters and also with coolant for the engine and things just freezing and breaking. Now, what happens up here is that the difference between minus 20 and minus 30 degrees is not the same as the difference between minus 30 and minus 40 degrees. And I'm going to keep this to Celsius now, because that's easier for me. But minus 40 degrees Celsius is the same as minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit, so that's where they meet. 0 degrees Celsius is around 32, 33 degrees Fahrenheit. Anyway, so all the diesel heaters I've heard of coming up from the UK or from Germany or Belgium or the Netherlands, they have failed. And they failed when the temperatures have crossed minus 30 or minus 32, minus 33, in that range. It seems like all diesel heaters are failing. And it's mostly to do with things starting to freeze over, like the exhaust and the air intake, also the fuel lines and stuff like that. They just can't handle those temperatures. So when you get below minus 30, you start having trouble with diesel heaters. And that's a big concern, because that's when you really want to stay warm. So the diesel heaters fail mostly at minus 30 to minus 35 degrees Celsius. And that's not a good thing. And it really changes the whole life up here if you have a diesel heater that fails. So I would really be careful about diesel heaters here. And they might be the only option, but still you need to figure that stuff out, how it works, when it breaks, when it stops working, and give it some hard lessons, give it some hard work, make sure that you don't have exhaust and air intake that could freeze. Do something to circumvent that. Now, it's a little bit funny to me because I haven't had any critical failures, no matter how cold it's been. And I'm running a Truma Combi 4 on propane. And everyone keeps recommending you should switch to diesel, you should get a diesel heater. But I'm not so sure about that, because the diesel heaters have failed en masse this winter. And my Truma Combi 4 has not had a single hiccup. Now my issue is of course that I have to change these propane bottles, and it's a little bit, can be quite annoying, to be honest. If it's very cold, my propane bottles will last 3 days max, but when it's not as cold, I might have a bottle for 5 days or something. So I always have to keep looking for places to switch those propane bottles. But still, I've been in this situation several times, and I know that my propane will not fail me, and I know that diesel heaters do fail. Of course, people get into trouble with the Trumas as well, but those are mainly diesel-based Truma combi heaters. So this is an important thing for this winter here. It's been shockingly, brutally cold, and it's just when it drops below -30, you're in a totally different ballpark. That temperature range from -30 to -40 is just 100% different than what you get when you're in the -5 to -30 degrees range. That whole range is kind of, you can deal with that by taking a little bit care, but once it drops below, things just start to break. And that's why one of my main survival methods and advices is to get out of Dodge when it reaches those temperatures. You don't want to camp in -40 degrees. That's just asking for trouble. That's just an area where mechanical devices start to fail. And that's when you need to get one of those Sami tents and light a fire. That's never gonna fail. I've never tried that in -40, but you know, it's just a different world, because the steel or the aluminium or whatever, the tubes, the lines, everything on vehicles will start failing in those temperatures. You know, you can heat things up and all of that stuff, but those temperatures are just deadly for any vehicle. So here's my main advice, and the reason why I haven't had any breakdowns is mostly about being aware that temperatures might happen. And I do these things when it gets below -30. I do start the engine at certain intervals to keep the engine warm, and I do go and check on my exhaust. I've never had my exhaust from my heater freeze over because of cold. I've had it freeze over in one hurricane force blizzard, when I turned the heater off, or I put it to a very low temperature so it wasn't producing any heat, and then the exhaust got cold and it snowed over in the blizzard. But it wasn't very cold, it was like -5 at that point. So that's not a cold related issue at all. Never had the Truma heater fail because of cold. Now I hear that people get into trouble with the Truma heaters when they have these automatic sensor switches on between the two bottles, and I don't have that. I have to switch the bottles manually. But if you have that automatic thing, I've heard people getting into trouble with there's too much like mechanics and tubes and stuff happening there, so they could fail. Oh, look at the ptarmigans just sitting on the road here. That's pretty cool. So the funny thing is that my van is probably one of the least capable winter vans up here, but I'm not so sure it has to do with the van itself. There might be other things that come into play. I've just seen a lot of failures this winter, and it all comes from temperatures below -30, and mostly from failing diesel heaters. And I've heard of several brands failing up here. Something worth looking into for sure. But I have to say, I feel badly for some of the people that had so many failures, because there's no doubt that they arrived in a very extreme winter. And there's something about going up through Finland and into the coldest parts of Norway in a polar winter like this. It's maybe better to go along the coast. It's a little bit warmer out by the coast, and it could also be very slippery, but when it's cold enough, it's not slippery out there either. But it's not easy to know all these things unless you spend a lot of time up here, of course. Challenges, challenges, challenges. It can get a bit much with the cold. Sometimes you just long for a little bit warmer weather, especially this Siberian cold we've had lately. It's been, yeah, that's just been brutal. And just like this long stretch of really cold weather just seeps into your bones. Another thing that's been performing admirably the whole winter is my lithium batteries. You see now it's charging, and they're up to 4.5 degrees Celsius, and they were down to -5 or something when I started. So these ScanBat batteries with built-in heat, they're exactly right thing for Arctic conditions. Never had an issue this winter at all. They just start heating up as soon as you start the engine. So just perfect performance from these 360 amp hours of lithium batteries with built-in heat. So they use the first surge of energy they get from the alternator to heat up the temperature, and then they start charging. So 100% perfect battery. So another thing that many get issues with is the coolant, and that's because the coolant is not made for temperatures as low as this. Up here we do have a different coolant with much lower temperature sensitivity, so we usually don't get trouble with the coolants in our vehicles that are bought and serviced up here. But you should definitely be aware of the coolant being an issue if you come from other places. Maybe you bought your vehicle in Europe, United Kingdom, somewhere like that. You should change your coolant probably before you get up here. Some people don't pay enough attention to that. It's understandable. So many things to think about. But the main issues this year has apparently been the diesel heaters. They're not really doing well below -30. So keep that in mind. Getting questions about AdBlue, and AdBlue is supposed to work down to -14 only, but I've never had an issue with my AdBlue. I think the holding tanks for the AdBlue are heated, but it might be an issue if you're doing a cold start. But I haven't had an issue with that at all. Another thing that could potentially be an issue is if you have diesel in the tank that's from before you came up to the Arctic, then that could potentially freeze. I see in Finland some places their diesel is only good to -29, and that is kind of something that surprised me a little bit. I saw a sign about that in one of the Finnish towns, but diesel in Norway is usually rated to -36, I think. And then you have the, I think it's called T2 Polar Diesel. That is up here in the worst parts of Norway. It should be good down to -40. You don't want to leave your van cold when it's minus 30 or below, because then everything could start freezing up. Things you never thought about, things I never thought about. So keep your engine warm. If you need to be in these temperatures, I recommend starting it every 4 hours and let it heat up. That's what I do. I've done that a few times this winter, but that's a good way to keep things warm. It's the plow truck, and it's blowing up a little bit. Ooh. Another plow truck just behind. Yeah, it's been blowing quite heavily here. I heard that they had snowstorms and blizzards further out by the coast, but I've been inland. So I have to say, my bison hasn't failed this winter in extreme conditions. That's what a bison is all about. Dig the nose down into the snow and keep pushing slowly. And that's pretty much why I named the van Bison. It's not a grizzly bear and it's not a mountain lion. It's a slow, good-going bison. So I'm loving this van. It's a winter beast. Even those expedition vehicles have failed up here this winter. They don't seem to handle the cold as well, so don't trust anything big and expensive and fancy and advanced. You need the proper stuff for this, and it might not be what you think it is. What you need is a bison. Bisons can be unpredictable. You should never walk up to a bison. It's blowing up here. Don't think this was on the forecast, the blowing snow. But I didn't check for up on this plateau here. So I'm gonna go across the border to meet my friends, Unlikely Explorers, and we're gonna camp in Finland. Look at this. Magic. Absolutely. I'm always blown away when I get up here. I don't think I've ever seen any place like this border area here. One of the most remote borders in the Arctic. This is winter wonderland. I wonder why I haven't seen it like this before. I'm always driving in the dark, I think, or in like a really bad weather situation. Now it's almost 4 o'clock. And it's getting dark. Right out here is the border somewhere, hidden in the snow, I guess. Now I'm blown away again with this absolutely fantastic scenery. Look at all the snow that's pulling down the trees. Poor trees. All right, here's the border over here. Look at this place here. It's just frozen to the core. There, we crossed into Finland. absolutely frozen here. Alright, we're in Enontekiö again. And I'm gonna start by going to the store and get some supplies before I meet up with unlikely explorers. Gonna take you inside this Finnish store, I think. Love this place. It's a snow town, no doubt about that. And it smells like wood smoke here. Wow. It's completely snowed in. Everything. Much more snow than the last time I was here, I think. Or not maybe much more, but considerably more. I think there might be a ski resort up here on a hill. I think I saw some lights. Maybe that's a goal for a day. Tomorrow, maybe. We'll see. Saturday tomorrow might be very crowded. I don't know how many people there are out here in this remote region here of Finland. Up here's the store. K-Market. Looks like it's starting to snow.
I thought it was like price for one.
Oli lähestyä ja vuokralla aloitan päästään taas näkemään tämän vuoden sisällölliset esitykset ja oikeudet vastaan. Niin vuokko voitti esimerkiksi kolme. Ja muistan, että se kokku, mikä käytiin ennen UMK-finaalia. Itse asiassa varsinaisesti Euro-5, koska siis Venäjällä oli UMK-finaalissa sellainen Xplorer voitti EU-ilman Snowstorm. Ja muistan, että se on koko mikä käytiin ennen UMK-finaalia. Itse asiassa varsinaisesti Eurovision, koska se Finlandilla oli UMK-finaalissa. Nyt kuultaan tämän onneksi niin musaamisessa ei tehdä pakareita, vaan tehdään semmoisen erään etsivän nimessä esiintyvä ruumiisatunne. Tiedän, että Jesta liittyvä Petrus. En ole edes aivan nyt vastaan semmoinen taas, että mitä sitä ajattelisi vaan siis Peppu-maailman paikalla. Mutta hän ratkaisee rikoksen, että hän arvostelemaan naamansa perusteella. Mutta on siis tietysti selväksi, että tänään jokaisen musavisan teemana on Peppu. Pidetään tämä mielessä, kun kappaleita kuuntelette. Ja 5 klippiä kohta kuunnellaan. Kuunnelkaa kaikki. Pistetään ylös esittäjä ja kappale. Kun kaikki on kuunneltu 040 1455 666. 7. Täynnä tulee tänään koittamaan. Hieman radioson tuotepaus. Mutta nyt kisa alkaa. Tältä kuulostaa ensimmäinen vuotuinen lähestyä ja vuoden aloitella päästään taas näkemään tämän vuoden kisarjoitusesitykset ja voittoyhteisöt vastaan. Niin vuonna Xplorer voitti EU-ilman Snowstorm. Ja muistan, että se on koko mikä käytiin ennen UMK-finaalia. Minäkin tunnistin. Annan teille pienen hetken aikaa kirjoittaa vastaukseni ylös. Jos se heti tuli mieleen, niin hetken sitä sieltä kaikilla on alkanut. Mikä se oli? Se oli Mutta ette tee sitäkään, että nämä turhaan minkäänlaisia linkkejä. Nyt ollaan kuultu kaikki 5 osallisena.
I remember now how much I love this place here. Let's hope that parking spot is plowed and open. Alright, here we are. Let's hope it's open. This could very well be not as good. Should have Tracy and Fraser here pretty soon, unlikely Explorers, and I've been following them on WhatsApp. They sent me their live location, So I'm thinking 2 more minutes and they'll be here in this pretty remote parking lot up here. Awesome place. Yeah, those lights there have to be them. This is better than beans on toast. Welcome.
Hello, it's good to see you.
This took long.
Yeah.
It's been weeks since you arrived in Sweden.
Been a whole year.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. I'm trying to outlight you.
Yeah, we noticed on the way in.
Yeah. Good morning. I had a lovely evening with unlikely explorers, Tracy and Fraser, last night. And today I'm up a little bit early preparing a new video release for today and making the most important meal of the day here in Finland. It's beautiful, really amazing here now. And the snow is just stuck to everything. Very cool. Cheers, my friends. Would be fun to see a moose come through here. I saw so many moose yesterday. I think I saw 6 moose on like a 10-minute stretch in Norway. Most important meal of the day. What a beautiful place. So, walking in some snowmobile tracks here. It's frozen just below the new snow, so it carries. Considering putting on my skis and going into the thick of it. Super amazing here in Finland. Alright, I thought I wanted to have a look inside the unlikely Xplorer van. Look at that, that's really cool. You just touch it, just like a Tesla, and then it opens. So, unlikely Explorers in the house.
Come on in.
Hello.
Tracy and Fraser. I just wanted to show you quickly what their van looks like. So you can see it's... Tell me about your van.
It's a 1980s.
So it's got all the war stuff here. You see the zombie switch there.
Yeah.
That's really necessary when you get up here into the woods, because there's these things, trolls and zombies. So it's kind of like... What is it?
The zombie.
Yeah, the zombies were it kind of...
So therefore the amber DRLs. So when you get the switch panel, you have a selection of stickers that you can use, but there isn't one for amber DRL. So the next best thing is the zombie button.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you haven't run into any zombies yet?
No. But when the day comes, we'll be ready.
Yeah, it's a beautiful van. It's amazing. Anything you want to tell my audience about your van?
We have great diesel heaters that never break.
Okay, yeah. Have you had any issues with the diesel heater this winter?
No, I can't think of any.
No, you can't? Okay, that's good to know.
No, we have had a few issues, but I think it's down to installation rather than the heater itself. I still wouldn't go LPG. I know Jarl will be upset with that. The one thing is, diesel heaters may break, but Jarl still runs out of LPG. So,
Yeah.
it's a lose-lose situation.
Well, I have to switch the bottles all the time, but it works. Yeah. And this is Womble. Hey, Womble.
What's this?
You want to come over? Come on, Womble. Yeah, there you are. Good boy.
That's his zombie eye.
Yeah.
That's the real zombie of the place, with his dry eye.
Yeah. You're a good one. Yeah. So,
Good boy.
Outliving the rest of them.
what do you want to say, Tracy, about the van?
What do I like about the van? I like that it's like our miniature home. I think probably the best compliment that we get from anybody is if they come into our van and they say it feels homely. There's no better compliment to me. I just I think it's like it's a miniature version of when we used to live in a house or spend more time in a house. Then it's like a miniature version of that.
Nice. Yeah. It's beautiful. And this is This is all the stuff I don't have. All the spices.
The womanly touch.
Yeah, that's really nice. So probably a bathroom in there.
Indeedy.
Yeah.
Well, and glorified drying room.
Yeah. And you have like a separation toilet or something? What's it called?
Composting toilet.
Composting toilet.
And I can't talk higher enough about a composting toilet.
Cool. A really, really cool little tap here. That's like house style. Nice. Yeah. Awesome. Coffee machine.
Essentials.
Yeah. Fans. What kind of heating system do you run? You have a double heating system, don't you?
Yeah, so we have the Truma diesel, but then we've also got a backup heater, you know, just in case one fails coming to these Arctic conditions. And we tested that theory the other night when one did fail. So.
Yeah. Cool. And the battery? You're running a higher...
Yeah, so it's a huge battery system, 24 volt. The reason for that is we've also got the aircon, because believe it or not, we do also go to the warm countries.
Yep.
Very occasionally.
It's a Dometic air condition. Yeah. That one is power puller.
Yeah, definitely power hungry.
Yeah.
But yeah, wouldn't be without it, especially with the dog.
Yeah.
It just means that we can go into the shops, leave him behind, and it's nice and cool in there still. We have actually had a Spanish guy ringing the police because he thought that the dogs were left in the warm.
Yeah.
And then when it came and opened the door and the cold air bellowed out, and he was like, "Oh, sorry."
Yeah. So how much battery power do you have?
I would say it's probably because it's 24 volt system, but I would say it's the equivalent of 920 amp hours 12 volt.
Yeah. So
which
it's 480 at 24?
460, I think.
Yeah.
So it sounds a lot. It's more than what your average camper van would have. But when we're running Starlink, the CCTV, the external lights, the aircon, and we pretty much always off grid, then it definitely gets used.
Yeah. And you run both the heater and the aircon at the same time just to balance the air?
No. But you've given me a great idea there.
Yeah.
To really challenge the heating system, just that little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really cool van. I'm loving it. So the diesel heater comes out here. Am I right?
Yep.
And then the Truma has its own ports. And Thetford freezer. Alright, I'm gonna head out of Finland and into Sweden. It's been really nice to hang out with Fraser and Tracy for a day. That was a lot of fun. I'm going south for spring, and Arctic winter life is ending. So why am I scared? I am scared of this transition that is coming. I have to leave the Arctic for a couple of months now to return to maintenance, updates, fixes, and taxes. I have to take care of unexpected hurdles and be part of a world where appointments, schedules, and routines controls my days. It's gonna feel like being trapped again. Controlled life versus my preferred wild life. And there are changes coming. I am scared of these changes, although the changes might end up being for the better. Until I see you again, stay safe, my friends. Gonna miss you.